Good morning, all. Coming to you on Friday, the 7th. So we got through the first week of January. Well, almost. The market's primed for the jobs report. So we're going to get December's job report in about 20 minutes. We've seen, as we're all pretty clear, we're all been aware, the volatility of this week. And this jobs number will obviously trigger, well, I shouldn't say obviously, but likely to trigger some more action. Just quickly, we saw ADP was a big number, 807, which is basically double what was expected, which meant that a lot of people are aiming higher, or at least expecting a higher number at today's official BLS report. Estimations are all around 400,000 to 450,000 for NFP, and for unemployment to drop down to 4 or 4.1%. We see Europe slightly down to unchanged, other than Italy. Italy is up a tad. Spain is the worst, which has been pretty well for ever since the epidemic, really. Pandemic, I should say. As far as the US debt market, we are pretty well sideways at the moment, but keep your eye on the 10-year. That's what everyone is looking at. The 2-year, of course, is what the Fed funds is best attached to. So we have that. Currently, we have S&P futures up around 5 handles from where they were. Actually, they've drifted back down again as we speak. Oil has been again back over $80. More news out of Kazakhstan, different reports. As far as we talked a little about the meme stocks that went a bit nuts yesterday. If you recall, GameStop was like 174, I think, 175. It's back down to 155. A bit of semblance, rationality, perhaps, come back into that. Yeah, and there's obviously some good players got some shorts on there. We'll see if that turns into some sort of short squeeze or that was it. So watch your gamma levels, activity levels, both sides. Other news was Quidel, which is symbol QDEL, is up $4, about 3%, after guiding Q3 revenue above consensus. Duck Creek, which is DCT, beat top and bottom line earnings. We're starting to get a few earnings again. New York Times is down about 70 cents or so after agreeing to buy the Athletic, for $550 million. We had November household spending out in Japan. That was down minus 1.2%. That it was expected to be up 1.2%. So a big difference there. We spend a lot of time here watching the shipping indexes like Baltic Express. Well, the Taiwanese press reported overnight that shipping carriers are going to increase their cargo prices by up to 20%. Of course, Taiwan is the home of the semiconductor, so that is not irrelevant news. The Chinese Securities Regulator Commission said they will work to help to stabilize the stock market. Out in Europe, let's see, we had a CPI 0.4%, the core for the Eurozone itself. Industrial production was lower in Germany, up at minus 0.2. These are November numbers, expected 1%. More of this, nothing really much to report on. Royal Dutch Shell came out and said that that 5.5 billion in proceeds from its divestment in the Permian Basin will be directed to share buybacks. So at the time, I recall it was about cutting debt or something, or looking for alternatives in the renewable space. Well, obviously that didn't happen. Okay, let's quickly go through the charts. Nothing really different from what we did on the wrap yesterday. You can see all we've done since that junk down here. After the FOMC minutes, we have gone sideways. We have this big pennant. We have the Tankin sitting above here. This is hourly. So if we were to just draw some lines here, we can see what's going on. You've got this little number to do a pennant on your chart. See if that's a continuation pattern, which generally what it is. So, and then if it breaks down, your resistance is going to be up here. If it breaks up, you've got this cloud to get through. So you've got a heavy and a 50. So at this point, the easy way is down, isn't it? But we do have an event catalyst, which can clear out both sides. You do have, 08 is a long way down here, right? So, and 88 up here. Let's stick to our daily, which is what we get most of our direction off. So if we go to this, well, you want to get a trend in your trading. We held the 50 twice. You can see the pennant forming there that we just drew in the hourly. 50 goes. We have Cajun below and the cloud above. We have Tankin. That's your big number. It needs to get above that for me to get all bulled up. 47.47, unless we come down into support. You don't want to force a trade. This is your Russell overnight. Very similar. All these are very similar. This is let's make that a little bit longer. And you can see here, same thing. Bang, bang, down hard. This is your FOMC minute deal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4 is much shorter than 2. One of your simple Elliott rules. The question is that a C or is making this an ABC? We will find out today. Interestingly, this spike down here also, so very clear levels. Nasdaq. This is the weaker of the lot. I read that there's been $1 trillion or so wiped off this. This has hit that high. Overnight, there's a 5-minute. Let's go to a 30. And just dribble down. It looks a bit more constructive, however, than the other one, which is interesting because that's the worst hit. So have we had enough of the selling? So there we have it. Sitting right above the cloud, the tank and the Cajun, you'd want this tanker to go through it. Apple, you're seeing some sign of life here. Look what it's testing. So we're at very heady levels, and the bear meter is finally up. I've seen, I don't think I've seen any positive news anywhere, any positive, not news, sentiment. Keep that in mind. Look at oil. Oil has just been constantly, remember it did all that work around here. Remember what that was? That was your magnet. And you had your twist with no impulse. This was your key, remember, when it came back through that. And here we are now above that. 50, moving higher. To bring it in closer so you can see your actual support and resistance, you can see how, again, there's another one of those pennants. Now, we want to look at risk on and risk off. You also want to look at the reaction off the number. Usually the best trade off that, safest trade is a reactionary trade, meaning if it cracks, you buy the dip or play the spike. If it spikes up, you do the same, and you'll know pretty quickly if you're wrong or right, but do it off a level because you're just trading off machines, right? 5-minute here. So here's overnight. We're a long way from the pivot. We tested the bottom of the cloud. We got up about. Remember I said how to use these clouds rather than what a lot of people will tell you out there. Look at what it's actually taking in. We tested this breakdown. up here, break up, break down, pretty clear stuff. Look where we are on your Murray. That's all 8/8. Remember, we're trying to work into a new plus 2/8 from a 2/8 framework for those that are bullish. Bearish, breaks all this, it's got issues. And down here you got the pivot, S1, and above here you got the 50, the plus 4/8, and your R1 and R2 is way up there, 81.80 and above. So this, don't forget, you can get on this, you're going to get geopolitical bombs with what's going on. There's some stuff on the, I think on the website, about how Libya is back to normal, so they say, back to producing. You got Kazakhstan, you got the cold in Canada, in the North of America. Natural gas, well, no surprises, absolutely nothing there. Total sideways. We'll see if we get some action here or some new models for the weekend. Remember, if you be very cautious about going long over the weekend or short over the weekend, because you get those gap ups on the Weber model. So that's pretty well it from us. Here's your profile. We've been nice and constructive since that fall, and that again fits in with your pennant we looked at. Okay, I see GameStop just popped $5. Things like that are a different game. I wouldn't suggest you jump in those sort of things if you're a novice, even if you're a pro. But anyway, all the best. Have a great day. Follow us on socials, Traders.com, and on the website, of course. If you like what we're doing on YouTube, subscribe and like and share, and we will see you after the market, or we'll try and we'll update when it's on the Twitter feed if there's something we think is meaningful. Thank you for listening.